3:42 p.m. local time, October 16, 2025, the Taiwan Strait. The sea is calm, barely a ripple on the surface, but underneath lies a storm of tension. From the west, a Chinese Type 052D destroyer suddenly changes course. Not parallel, not evasive, direct. Its target? The USS Higgins, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer of the U.S. Navy, conducting a perfectly legal freedom of navigation patrol just east of the Taiwan median line, that invisible line Beijing has spent years trying to erase. No signal, no warning, just a sharp bow wake cutting across the horizon. Inside the Combat Information Center, the CIC, a voice breaks the silence. Contact, altering course, CPA under 200 yards. 200 yards, less than 2 football fields. At sea, that's nothing. That's danger close. At that range, a single mistake could turn steel and fire into a geopolitical crisis. The Higgins calls out on bridge-to-bridge radio, English first, then Mandarin. No reply. The Chinese warship keeps closing in, bow aimed dead at the Higgins, pushing over 25 knots, nearly 30 miles per hour. A 7,500-ton beast built not just to hunt submarines or shoot down missiles, but to ram if ordered to. The Higgins AN/SPY-6 radar tracks every detail: speed, heading, acceleration. But what rattles the crew isn't the signal, it's the silence. In naval terms, silence doesn't mean confusion, it means defiance. From the CIC, the command is steady. Hold course, hold speed. Because out here, the first ship to flinch loses more than face, it loses the narrative. If Higgins turns away, then Beijing wins without firing a shot. 3:43 p.m. The radar confirms acceleration. Speed jumps from 21 to 25.4 knots in under 30 seconds. That's not patrol speed, that's combat intercept speed. CPA drops to 185 yards, 2 minutes to collision. Bridge to bridge again. Unidentified Chinese naval vessel. This is United States warship conducting lawful transit. Alter course immediately. No answer. Again in Mandarin. Still nothing. On deck, the Higgins crew stands steady, eyes locked on the horizon where the Chinese destroyer grows larger by the second. There's no shouting, no panic, just discipline. Everyone on board knows exactly what's happening. Beijing is testing limits, seeing how far the U.S. will go before backing down. And if Higgins gives ground today, then tomorrow, Taipei, Tokyo, and Manila will all wonder if America still has their back. 2 warships, 2 nations, 1 standoff that could rewrite the rules of the Pacific. 3:45 p.m. The tension on board Higgins has gone from steady to razor thin. Radar confirms the contact isn't shadowing anymore. It's locked in. No deviation, no slowdown, no lights. Inside the CIC, the command tone doesn't waver. Maintain heading, maintain speed. Because on this battlefield, hesitation equals defeat. If the U.S. Navy veers off course now, China wins the footage. They'll play it on CCTV, call it a sovereignty defense victory, and frame the U.S. as the aggressor forced to retreat. So Higgins doesn't blink. She stands her ground, steel, radar, and resolve. At 3:45:30, the tactical officer confirms, threat profile confirmed, trajectory locked, intentional intercept. From this point, the ship follows strict rules of engagement. No one fires, but everyone prepares as if they might have to. Every radar ping, every frame, every voice transmission is being logged. If this turns into an incident, Washington will need evidence, not emotion. Then comes the next step: posture without provocation. The Higgins 5-inch Mark 45 gun slowly rotates toward the approaching destroyer, deliberate but not hostile. The message is unmistakable: we see you, we're ready. Seconds later, the Electronic Warfare Suite, SLQ-32V7, comes alive. Its sensors detect a narrowband surface search signal. Frequency and pulse width confirm it. The Chinese destroyer is now actively scanning the Higgins. That's not observation, that's targeting. On board, the crew knows exactly what that means. In naval language, that's aiming a weapon without firing it. Then the deck trembles slightly. The MH-60R Seahawk on the aft pad spools up. Rotor wash sweeps across the stern, kicking salt spray into the air. No weapons loaded. This isn't a show of force, it's a message. Romeo 5-2 airborne. The Seahawk rises to 200 feet, FLIR camera activated, scanning the Chinese warship's upper decks. The image feed comes in sharp. You can see crew members on the Type 052D's foredeck, two of them standing near the 130mm gun mount. The gun covers are off. In the cockpit, the sensor operator calls it out. Visual confirmation, gun unmasked. Data is tagged, time-stamped, and uplinked to the fleet. If this turns into political, the U.S. won't just have a statement, it'll have HD proof. At 150 yards apart, two destroyers, both armed to the teeth, are now locked in, a silent duel of nerve and precision. One wrong move and it's not a drill, it's international breaking news. 3:46 p.m. The most dangerous minute yet. The Chinese destroyer hasn't slowed. No lights, no warning, just steel cutting through water like a blade. Two sailors on its foredeck still stand motionless beside the main gun. It's not confusion, it's choreography. This is gray zone warfare in action. Deliberate escalation without open aggression. A psychological push wrapped in plausible deniability. Inside Higgins's CIC, the latest update flashes. CPA, 150 yards. Time to intercept, 1 minute. A decision matrix lights up. Two options. Hold course. Assert lawful navigation, risk collision. Alter course. Avoid danger, but hand Beijing a symbolic victory. No debate needed. The order stands. Hold course. This isn't about pride. It's about principle. Freedom of navigation isn't a slogan. It's the line between rule of law and rule by intimidation. 3:47 p.m. Radar shows a change. A 5-degree starboard turn, barely noticeable, but enough. The Chinese destroyer begins to veer off, dropping from 26 knots to 21. A calculated withdrawal, close enough to prove a point, not close enough to crash. Then the radio crackles alive. U.S. Navy vessel, you are approaching a Chinese-administered maritime zone. Alter your course immediately. The voice is flat, rehearsed, exactly the kind of clip meant for propaganda reels. The Higgins replies instantly, calm and precise. This is United States warship conducting lawful passage in international waters. Unsafe maneuvers are being documented and reported. Translation: we're not leaving and we're not scared. Overhead, the Seahawk hovers, recording every frame. On the Type 052D, the deck crew steps back from the main gun. One sailor raises his hands, palms open, the universal maritime gesture for "we're done." But the standoff isn't over. Both ships remain on radar, both fully alert. The danger may have passed, but the message hasn't. Inside the CIC, the commanding officer logs the final note. Deliberate intercept confirmed, pattern consistent with prior engagements. Because everyone on board knows this wasn't random, it was rehearsal. 3:48 p.m. The sea is calm again, but the air is electric. Both warships have broken the collision vector, yet neither is standing down. Higgins continues northeast. The Chinese destroyer parallels her to the west, two predators circling in silence. Above them, the Seahawk keeps orbiting, FLIR camera still recording. Every reflection, every movement, every radar pulse is archived and beamed up to the 7th Fleet's command network. Because in modern warfare, victory isn't just about firepower, it's about controlling the narrative. Inside the CIC, the latest report reads, "Intercept terminated. Chinese vessel reducing speed. No further aggression detected." No cheers, no applause, just quiet professionalism. In this business, surviving the day isn't glory, it's duty. But make no mistake, this encounter was more than a near miss. It was a snapshot of China's evolving strategy, gray zone tactics designed to blur the line between peace and war. Push close, stay silent, record everything, then call it routine. They've done it before. In August 2025, Britain's HMS Richmond was cut off by a Chinese frigate near the Spratlys. A month earlier, a Japanese P-1 patrol jet was forced to divert after being buzzed by a J-11 fighter over the East China Sea. Each time, Beijing denied everything, and each time it pushed the limits further. This is a psychological campaign, not a random act. The goal is to normalize the abnormal, to make dangerous encounters feel routine, so that when a real crisis begins, no one's sure where the red line truly is. On board Higgins, the CO writes the final line into the logbook. Incident recorded. Intentional provocation. Situation contained. The words are dry, but the meaning is sharp. The U.S. can't keep playing defense forever. Because the real question isn't whether China is testing America. It's how far America is willing to be tested before it decides to push back. Today, a 5-degree turn was enough to avoid a headline that could have started with "collision in the Taiwan Strait." But next time, 5 degrees might not come. The strait falls silent again. The Higgins sails on, steady, resolute. And beneath that calm surface, the world's most dangerous game continues. A battle of will, of law, and of freedom itself.